Even columbariums have minimum standards for pathwalks and guidelines. Next, the facade or the front will be the chapels, these three, and then the crematorium. This building on the left is actually flipped, and these ones are all to scale. And if I go to the next scene again, then I can see the floor plans. 𝗔𝗕𝗟𝗢𝗢𝗔𝗕𝗟𝗘. All my dimensions are actually placed in layout. And as the models get heavier and heavier, that's the time I had to invest with a stronger computer. But we can also change how the arrows look like. In order to utilize Enscape during that time, I had to separate the models. So for example, I would just drag and drop a car here and change the scale. Maybe it's not a tutorial for layout. Today is just going to show you how this project was made. Once you use components that are repetitive, the file size also gets diminished. We need to set the environment so that everything will just be for render. So now that I have some assets, hopefully it works here in Enscape, which it did. These are existing in real life. That's why the setback looks weird on HDR. And if your HDR looks so big, then you have to change another one. I like everything to be bright, to be warm, because it sells. People easily buy into it. But right now we're just doing it for fun, so we can do an overcast, meaning to say the sun is not always directly highlighting the architectural elements. I don't really like putting people there because it starts to look fake. So when people want to see the family member for the last time, they go inside this viewing room, or we call it the last view. They put the body here, okay, before it gets cremated inside. Didn't really focus on the very detailed of realistic renders because we were focused on the deadlines for the permits. Other people, if you notice, these are my electric poles. I had them transparent in the model. So it really depends on the mood you're trying to give off. Sometimes I put some outlines so they know that that's a corner. But first and foremost, just, don't overexpose. Anyways, that's how it looks until it became like what you saw earlier. I go towards the first keyframe and press